This video is going to be about PMAX campaigns and whether or not you can actually add negative keywords to a PMAX campaign. And of course, by the title, as you can already see, the answer to that question is actually yes. I'm going to explain why that's yes, how you can add negative keywords to your PMAX campaign, when you would actually want to do it, and when you would not actually want to do it. Because there's not a situation, well, you're not going to want to add negative keywords to PMAX campaigns every single time or never do it at all. There's certain situations where it'll come into very handy actually to get your PMAX campaigns to work better or to a suitable ROI or suitable ROAS. And there'll be situations where it's not. Also, there's different reasons for actually doing it. So I'm going to go through what those reasons are, when you would not want to do it, and of course, how to actually do it itself. So anyway, to get into the content, one of the reasons people don't like PMAX campaigns is because they cannot use negative keywords with their PMAX campaign like they can with the search campaign. So if you're running PMAX campaigns in replacement of search campaigns, which I don't recommend you do, by the way, then you're actually missing out on one of the best things about running those search campaigns, which is to add the negative keywords. Now, naturally, PMAX is supposed to be running off of machine learning and not needing the negative keywords as much. But I could damn well tell you right now, negative keywords matter a shitload in terms of the results you're going to get, even if you are doing PMAX, okay? And with that, as a side to this, when I use PMAX campaigns, it's essentially to do Google shopping. And when I say that is, so PMAX campaigns to do shopping ads versus the shopping ads themselves, PMAX a lot of times will do better than the shopping. Well, I want to say a lot of times, sometimes does better than the shopping. It depends on the market. In most markets, this regular shopping campaign is going to do better than the PMAX because the PMAX campaign is going to give me a bunch of this display ad traffic and so forth. So I don't want to do PMAX. I'll just run the shopping, and then therefore I can just run search campaigns. And specifically with that, if you are running PMAX campaigns, it of course will have search engine traffic with it. And so with search campaigns, you're going to want negative keywords to make those work by default, even if, despite what other people say with auto bidding, you don't need negative keywords. To get PMAX to work better, if you are using PMAX instead of the regular shopping, negative keywords sometimes can come in handy. Not using negative keywords with PMAX, one of the main things that we'll see and our clients will see is that the PMAX campaign will pick up lots of brand traffic, artificially making things on that PMAX campaign look better than what they are. So some people are adamant to not spend any money getting people that were already going to so-called do business with them to come back. Some people take more so the side of what I'm telling people on this channel, which is you do brand campaigns because, not just because people can, find you easily when they type in your brand name, or when other competitors are bidding on your brand keywords and they're going to show up above your organic search listing for your brand keyword or brand ad, for your brand keywords. It goes further than that. What happens is a brand campaign, it actually serves as the bottom part of your sales funnel. You're going to advertise for, if you're selling running shoes, you advertise on the keywords like running shoes, buy running shoes, all this other stuff, right? You spend all this money, you might spend $2, $3, $4 a click to get somebody to your site that's qualified. And then 80% of the people who come to your site are not going to be ready to buy today. You can see that by your bounce rates and obviously your conversion rates. And they're going to come back after getting paid or thinking about it a while or researching it more. Regardless of them saying buy running shoes, 80% of those people are still not going to be ready to buy immediately, whether they know it or not at the time of searching. So if your follow-up game is not very good, you're not going to get a good return on Google search ads, even with all the right settings and the ad copy being on point, and the negative keywords I talked about on point. So because people are going to just delay because that's how the consumer behaves. So you got to be able to be effective in two ways. You got to be able to follow up that user with remarketing ads, because in marketing, frequency is more important than reach. You're going to want to have 5 or 10% of your search ad budget just going to following that user up, showing that user the testimonials and reviews that you got and the differentiators in your product. So the user, as they're browsing around and screwing around looking at other options and all this, you're actually slowly reinforcing that you're the actual company that when you do officially decide to come back to. So that's one component. The other component is when somebody goes back and they get paid, or that day comes where they say, darn it, I can't delay my running shoe purchase anymore. These running shoes are shit now. They're making my knees hurt. I got to buy this new pair of shoes today, or should buy it today. They get to the point where they get on the computer and then they start, because you remarketed to them, or just because they remembered your great running shoe offer, they sit down at their computer, or of course their phone or whatever, and they go to type in, they try to type in your company name to find your company, to find the offer that you had spent all this time and effort and energy to set up a great landing page and a good campaign and spent the money to get them to your site. But at the last second, they can't quite remember what your brand name is. They type it in wrong, they misspell it. What a good brand campaign does for you is it makes sure the people who can't quite remember your brand name can find you. Through Google's keyword matching algorithm, you can bid on your brand terms. It'll get all the misspellings of your brand name, and it'll get words that are most commonly misused. So if there's a certain word, if your brand name is 3 different words and they're just typing in 2 words, it'll help you have your brand ad then will show up, where not every single time your organic listing will show up for your company when they typed in part of your brand name like that. So, and people underestimate when they look at me funny when I say this, but people are gonna, if you don't believe me, run a brand campaign for yourself and look at the search query report, or search terms report. It's what it's officially called, and look at all the different ways that people are mistyping your brand name. This happens way, way, way more often than you think, particularly if you have even a semi-hard brand name to remember. So you run that brand campaign to tighten up the bottom of your sales funnel. You do stuff to get people interested. You do things to keep people so that they keep you in mind, and to nurture that person along and drain any objections that the user might have about your brand, any mistrust that they have about your brand, any reason why they may not know what why they will deal with you specifically if they didn't get that when they came to your site in the first place. And then you do the brand campaign to make sure when they go to buy, you don't lose them at the last second. Of course, it helps also make sure your ad's above other people trying to siphon clicks away with other people are bidding on your brand terms. But it's even more about, there is even more value in the misspelling of your brand name and making sure that you don't lose people at that last critical moment where they already got their wallet out ready to buy. So anyway, because of that, you normally, having your PMAX campaign have ads show up for your PMAX campaign, get people that are typing your brand name, isn't necessarily a bad thing, even though a lot of people would disagree with me there still. If you did look at your campaign, you would see that there's a lot of the brand searches, your PMAX campaign is getting a lot of the people that are making brand searches of your brand there. And that'll actually make the PMAX campaign look like it's performing a lot better than it is compared to other campaigns, because it's got brand mixed in with it. But anyway, assuming you were in a situation where you wanted to add these negative keywords to your PMAX campaign, there's no official way to do it on your own. You can't add a negative keyword list to a PMAX campaign. There's no setting in there in the PMAX campaign to add the negative keywords. You got to talk to your Google rep, and they have to add it on their site. You take their word that they added it, of course, because you're not going to see anything once it's added. But what you will see, for instance, if you on your negative keyword list, which would be the easiest way to tell, even though I don't recommend doing this at all, this would be one way to tell. If you were disagreeing with me and you don't want to bid on your brand terms, because maybe your brand name is so easy to remember that you don't think people will misspell it, which they will, you could get your Google rep to add a negative keyword list, but just has your brand terms on it to filter out the brand traffic from your PMAX campaign, and then you would be able to see right away the performance will on the ROI will go down. And then of course, inside the PMAX campaign that show you what people are typing in before they click on your ad, which you can also see in your insights report, you'll be able to see no brand searches, which show you and prove to you that this method of so-called adding negative keywords to your PMAX campaign actually works. So if you go ahead and look at your search terms, what's called the search terms insight report on your PMAX campaign, which is within the insights menu or insights page on your PMAX campaign, lower down on the insight section of your PMAX campaign, search terms insight, it'll show you what people are typing in physically before they click on your ad from your PMAX campaign. And then within there, you'll see there specifically what people are typing in, so that you can see that the PMAX picks up a lot of brand searches, but while you're in there, you can also see what else it picks up in general. Just like if you're running search campaigns and you're using that search query report, or search terms report, sorry, the search terms insight report on the PMAX campaign doesn't show you as detailed data as the search campaign's search terms report does. I wish it would, but it doesn't. But it does give us quite a bit of information, particularly the general gist of what the PMAX campaigns are showing up for, and a lot of whatever's generating sales. But with that search terms insight report, you can obviously use that report then to see, assuming that you want to add negative keywords to your campaign to see how to get it to work better or whatnot on your PMAX campaign there. You can use that search terms insight report that shows you what people are typing in before they click on your ads that are generating sales versus not generating sales, because it tells you in there what search terms are and aren't generating sales. You can use that to build yourself a negative keyword list for that PMAX campaign. Once you obviously get it built, you can take it over to your Google rep and they'll add it in there to your campaign. But to be honest, the other keyword lists you already have as a part of running search campaigns, assuming you are running search campaigns, but the negative keywords that you've actually figured out to add to your search term campaigns, or your search campaigns, your regular search campaigns, those same negative keywords could pretty much just be added to your PMAX campaign. It's not like your PMAX campaign is going to perform that much differently than your search campaigns in your market, or shouldn't for the most part. What I would recommend is doing both anyway. I would take my negative keyword list that I've already accumulated over time by running my search campaigns and adding those negative keywords to those search campaigns, whether it's directly to the campaigns or a negative keyword list that I apply to those search term campaigns. Go to my search terms insights within my PMAX campaign, find negative keywords to add in addition to the negative keywords I use in my search campaigns, combine them into one big list, take it to my Google Ads rep, have them apply that to that list to the PMAX campaigns. Okay? If I'm going to actually add negative keywords to my PMAX campaign. I told you at the start of this video that I'm not going to be doing this every single time. A search campaign, I'm going to be adding negative keyword lists, or negative keywords, I should say, to the search campaigns every single time I run a search campaign, because that's just what is needed to get good results with search campaigns. Even if you run exact match, even if you run auto bidding or smart bidding on your search campaigns, you need negative keywords. I don't give a shit what anybody says. We're testing hundreds and hundreds of campaigns here. We've tested we tested it both ways. I would tell you otherwise if that was a way to get more results. But beyond that, as far as the PMAX campaigns go, no, I don't necessarily just add negative keyword lists or keywords to the PMAX campaigns every time. The reason for that is, for the most part, the PMAX campaign, I do, going back to what I was saying before, realize that PMAX campaign fundamentally actually does behave and perform differently, distinctively different than the search campaigns by themselves fundamentally do. And so I will let the PMAX campaign run a little bit, unmetered, if you will, to try to use Google's machine learning algorithm with that PMAX campaign that they rely on more there to help us find the customers and not interfere with the negative keywords. Now, I will add the negative keywords certainly if the result on my PMAX campaign does not match the account average results I'm getting for all my campaigns in my account. So in other words, if my PMAX campaign is already doing above average results, I'm not going to add negative keywords because their algorithm's pretty much handling it for the most part. Adding the negative keywords there is going to potentially derail what we have, and we've screwed it up before. If the campaign's not doing us good, we basically then only have two options: start adding the negative keywords or axe the campaign. Those are the two major decisions. Or wait some more time. That's always another technically third option that we have. But for the most part, it's either add negative keywords or axe it. Because changing the ad, you can change the ad, of course, and get a little bit more results that way. But that's our main other lever. Once we've done that, it's negative keywords or nothing at that point. So that would be one time where I would add the negative keyword list specifically as far as what we're doing here at our PPC firm at a regular basis. And then with that, going back to the brand keywords, like I said before, I won't add negative keywords to a PMAX campaign to get rid of brand terms, because we want brand terms in our Google ad account strategy overall. There is once in a while some situations where we have a special brand strategy where people that are typing in our brand name, we have a special offer, customer appreciation offer or something, where we want all of our brand search traffic to be lined up with one specific brand campaign that we have in the account, which is a search campaign, in which the ad copy matches a specific offer that we want people that type in our brand names to see and only see only. Whereas if we have brand searches, or if we have our PMAX campaign ads showing up for brand searches, we can't control what ad they see when they type in a brand keyword. So in that case, we would actually add brand terms as negative keywords to our PMAX campaign to block out brand terms from that PMAX campaign. So our brand campaign has a specialized ad just for brand to get most of the people who search for our brand name to click through our ad for that to work. But for the most part, if we don't have a specific brand ad strategy that has like a special offer just for people typing in the brand name, and that's generally in businesses where we have a lot of recurring business, then we'll just not add any negative brand keywords or brand keywords as negative keywords to the PMAX campaign. We'll just let it ride, if you will, okay? Because in general, like I said, misspellings and stuff, and as the PMAX campaign has more machine learning going on, it'll help us find people that are, really misspelled or really did not remember our brand name at all, to help facilitate getting that person back to our site at that last moment before they're going to buy. More so than what, of course, our search campaign can do on its own. So wanted to throw that in there as well. And that's why I gave you the background on the brand campaigns, because it all comes into play here as to decide whether you should add the negative keywords to lock the brand out or not. There are times I would recommend, if you have a separate brand campaign that's just for repeat business that you want to have a special ad, you can add the brand negative keywords in there to your PMAX campaign. Otherwise, I would pretty much leave it be, because you're going to make more money advertising on brand, and specifically also advertising on brand, even if you have a brand search campaign, doing it in the PMAX campaign overall, because it's going to help you find the person at the last minute who wants to buy and make sure you don't lose them. So anyway, with that said, if PMAX campaigns aren't doing so well, you could try adding the negative keywords. Otherwise, I would not mess with it. In other words, I'd let it ride. So depending on where you're at with the performance, it'll be the determiner, of whether or not you're going to add negative keywords to your PMAX campaign or not. So with that said, you may want to talk to your Google rep and get them over a negative keyword list to add to your PMAX campaign. Maybe you don't. But that's how you do it. That's where I would recommend doing it, and why I would recommend you actually doing it as well for your company. So that said, I'll wrap it up with that. It's everything I can tell you about negative keywords and lists as it comes to running PMAX campaigns. If you enjoyed this video, I have a lot of other videos on this channel about other PPC money-making strategies, where we have stuff that we're regularly testing at our guaranteed PPC firm to find out what's working, what basically isn't working. And we give you the stuff that's working as well as the stuff that's not working, so you can apply this stuff directly to your campaigns to make more money. It's the best information that I know of on YouTube as far as actual money-making strategies as it comes to Google ads, Facebook ads, and any other online advertising online, in that most of these channels are talking about theories and, certain options that these accounts have available to you. We tell you what options work, what doesn't, how to use them to make more money. Therefore, if you just watch our videos here on this channel, you'll make a lot of money with PPC. It's inevitable. So you should subscribe for that. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like, as I would like to be able to help get this video out to more people like you who need to find this quality type of information on YouTube versus the other kind of bullshit that's out there, we'll just say. So beyond that, though, I also have, by the way, a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog where I've written a personalized blog that goes over similar strategies, but goes in more into detail on how to set the campaigns up that we use to guarantee our clients' results at our firm. So if you're looking for more detailed advice for myself, you can also find great information from me there on our blog at guaranteeppc.com. So beyond that, if you have any questions about PMAX and negative keyword lists, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. So as a final note, I do want to tell you we have a brand new program at our Guarantee PPC agency where we offer turnkey PPC campaigns, where we literally can hook you up with a template PPC campaign that's generating millions of dollars of sales and profits a year in a certain market like foundation repair. You could use that campaign to set up a brand new business, outsource the work to a partner, and make 5 or 10% of that revenue as your profit cut, and have a business basically ready to go out of the box. We also may have a campaign that we've ran for years and gotten good results for somebody in a market that's in a different geographic territory as you, that you could use in your market, and there's no conflict of interest there. And you don't have to learn all the stuff that it takes to be great at PPC. You could just use the proven campaign template that we've developed for that market, in which you would be able to see the results that we have up front for that market before you ever used it. We've got campaigns in dozens and dozens of markets that are generating millions of dollars in sales. We can tell you what results you can expect from them, and would not be a conflict of interest with people that are in another geographic territory for you to use that same campaign in your market and see similar results for yourself. So if you want turnkey PPC campaigns with landing pages tied to that, we can provide it for you here. We may also have something in your market ready to go out of the box as well, which for that reason alone you should contact us. So anyway, if you're interested in that, contact my firm. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something here, and I hope to see you on the next one where we have another great PPC strategy for you there. Peace.